Hi, I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm pretty sure I've opened every vlog with that. Definitely the first one, I remember that. Um, so it's been almost 6 months since I last posted. I think. Might only be 5, I don't remember. I also don't remember what I said, what I talked about. So here's what you need to know. Back last fall, I was drafting yet another draft for Project PM. Got about what I thought was like 60% of the way through it, and then got stuck and ignored it for like a month. Focused on moving to a new state, starting a new job, all the fun stuff. Tried to do a different project for NaNoWriMo, made it about 10,000 words in and lost interest, I guess. And one night I decided, I have an EPUB file of my last draft. So I read through it in like the span of a single evening. It was a relatively quick read because there was only like 59,000 words and I'm a fast reader. But I got to the end of reading that draft and was like, hold on, this kind of feels like a full plot. So I was trying to put too much plot in my plot. So I'm like, hold on, wait, we have a full thing here. It needs some work. It needs a lot of work. Not like a lot, but like enough. So let's run with it. So like I did another dedicated read through and like made notes every chapter of like, ooh, I'd like to tweak this or fix that, or I don't think we need this part, or we really need something here that talks about this, whatever. Did all that, made a plan, was like, okay, the first 3 months of 2024, we're gonna write a full draft. Beginning to end, some of it is going to be just rewriting from the previous draft, basically line for line, tweaking some things because there's a lot of scenes that I've written like several times over now. So they're in a pretty good place. Decided 3 months, plenty of time. I did all the math with like a running average of like what my writing speed is and like taking into account that I'm working full time and won't be able to write like every single day. Made a plan. It's gonna be, I knew all of the major plot points. It's gonna be 70,000 words, like 20 chapters-ish. And we're gonna fix a lot of the things that I said needed fixed when I did my read through, and we're gonna feel great. I actually started on New Year's Eve because for all of 2023, I was tracking my writing stats, like how much time I spent writing and how many words I wrote for all of my various projects. I tracked all this in a spreadsheet using Google Forms for every month and all that. And I was like a couple hundred words away from hitting like 200,000 words for the entire year, which I thought was really cool and I wanted to do. So like with 2 minutes left in the entire year, I just started writing like rewriting the very first chapter of Project PM and hit the word count right before midnight. There were like 10 minutes left of the year and got just over the 200,000 word hump. It was great. So that got me started, and I wrote a not insignificant amount in January. My goal was a little past 25,000 words, which I hit. And then going into February, I had planned like 21,000 words for the month to bring me up to like 46 overall. And I had a week in the middle of February where I was between work projects. So I had like a week off in between where like I had nothing to do at work. And I was still showing up anyway and just sitting at a desk and just cranking this out. And like in that week, from Sunday, February 11th to Saturday, 17th, I wrote 39,000 words in a single week. I got delightfully close to the end. I basically got to the end. And I think like that final weekend, I wrote like what was the final scene of this draft. And it felt so good. Like as soon as I finished writing that scene, and like the back half of that scene was very like, I did not plan it. It just kind of happened very spontaneously. I historically struggle with endings, in part because I start writing a thing and get really excited, but I don't plan out the whole thing. And then like partway through, I'm like, wait, if I did this at the beginning, it would be even better. So then I go back and restart it with the new thing and just repeat the cycle forever and ever. I managed to not do that this time, which is probably why I finished. Like there were still a couple scenes that I knew I wanted to go back and add. I don't want to call them filler because I do feel like they're important, but like just give the story a moment to breathe, really, before launching back into the action, which I feel like I need. And I have a couple planned. It's going to be great. I just have to, remember how to draft. After I read that ending, I was like, okay, we made it. We're done. I mean, we're not like done, but like we finished the draft, which is wild because I historically don't do that. Like this is the first thing that I have finished and been like, yeah, I finished the thing since like 2017. It has been so long. And it's been like a month since I finished it and I don't know what to do with myself. Because I told myself as I was nearing the end, like, okay, we're gonna finish the draft and then we're gonna let it rest for a bit and then we'll get back into it and like do some editing, add those additional scenes, just really like start to polish it up. I've never done that for anything. So I don't know what I'm doing. I've already managed to break my, we're gonna let it rest for a bit. I was thinking to like April at the earliest. I did this like a week and a half ago. So I'm really good at that. But I did like a pass on like reading a PDF, and I do have an iPad with an Apple Pencil, and I like marked up some things and like this is a typo and this is supposed to be made and not mad. And just marking places where it's like, this wording's really awkward. Your characters aren't self-aware enough emotionally to be able to say this. And from there, I haven't really known what else to do. And part of that was fine because I was wrapping up another work project and it was like the hours were really long. I was traveling, it was a whole thing, and like I didn't really have the time or the energy to dedicate to writing on top of everything else that I was like working on at work. So that was fine. But now I'm like this whole week I have basically like had off. And next week I don't really have a lot of work that I'm doing because my next big work project doesn't start until the first week of April. And it's like the 21st as I'm recording this. So there's still like a week and a half where I'm not really doing anything. And I feel like I should be writing. Doing some flavor of writing work, something. And I don't know how to edit, which is fine. But I'm actively avoiding it because I'm like, I don't know how to do it. I don't want to push myself to do it yet. But also, I don't remember how to draft. I've been revising for so long. I forgot how to draft. And also, none of my other stories are really sparking joy as much as Project PM. And like, I really like all of them. I want to work on them. They're not living rent free in my head. They're not nearly as developed as Project PM is. So it feels like I don't know what I'm doing with any of them. And it's just, I feel like I'm in a very weird place where it's like, I don't know how to write. I forgot how to write. I don't really have anything to plot. I'm not revising right now, which is the thing that I am best at, apparently. And I don't know how to edit. Like, I have thoughts and ideas about like things that need changed, and I know that I can do those, but it's also like there are so many different things, I don't know what order to do them in. Like, I already have made a note that like I want to dedicate a whole pass to like making sure that all the details of like rupturing an Achilles tendon and then getting surgery and then the whole recovery process for that, making sure all those details are correct. I want to do another pass where like I look at all of like the text messages that I have in there and make sure that like everybody's like texting preferences, like I want to make sure that those are consistent for each character throughout. It's such a small detail, but I do really feel like it adds a certain level of like realness to these characters that I just really want to put a little attention and work into. There are like a handful of other passes that I want to make that I don't remember off the top of my head, if we're being honest. And I don't know what order to do them in. I don't know what would be like the most effective. I know that just like, I just need to dive in and start doing something and then I'll figure it out. Why is writing so hard? Like, I know it's hard. I know that's the whole thing. It's supposed to be hard, or else everybody would do it. I also think subconsciously I have this fear of letting go of this project because it is something I've been writing for 11 years now in some capacity. I haven't ever really gotten to these later steps, like doing editing passes and cleaning it up and getting ready for querying, which could be happening as early as next year. I feel totally normal about it. I'm not at all terrified. And like, I do believe that subconsciously I am afraid of all that because it's brand new territory and I don't know what I'm doing. And I'm also afraid of like letting go of this project and trying to like put my energy towards a different project and having to do the hard steps of like muddling through how plotting works and just figuring out what I really want whatever my next project is to look like and be and feel and all that. It's just, it's taken me 11 years to get this far with this project, finally. And I don't have another 11 years in me to dedicate to a single project. Mind you, in the 11 years that I've been working on Project PM, I have started and played with so many other projects. So it's not just 11 years thinking of this thing only. I feel like I'm at a very weird stage where it's like I don't know what to do, but I have this time to do things and I feel like I'm squandering it. Because like a month ago, I was pulling 39,000 words out of my ass in 7 days. And I have not done that this month. Not even close. I don't know if I've written more than 2,000 words this month, which I know is fine. I started tracking the time I spend writing along with my word counts because I didn't want to get bogged down by word count being the only metric that I am measuring. Acknowledging that like when I am plotting and doing a lot of plotting work, I'm not necessarily making words. I'm just kind of brainstorming. And that brainstorming is a very important part of the process. So I started counting time to be like, okay, even if you aren't making words, you're still making progress. And that has been very helpful over the past few years in like getting me out of a creative slump that I had in like 2021 and just letting writing be fun again. Now I'm in a place where like I'm not even dedicating time to writing right now because I feel like I am in such a weird place. And it's hard to not feel like I'm not doing enough when I know that's not true. I have accomplished incredible things in the past 6 months. I have written 2 drafts in 6 months, which is wild. Like, people don't just do that, but this person did. And I am not giving myself enough credit, and I am not being gracious enough with myself to acknowledge you have done a lot in the last 6 months. You don't need to do a lot all the time. I don't know if I have a point. I didn't really have a plan going into this. I don't know if you could tell. You probably can. I don't know. I'm in a very weird place creatively. And this week specifically, I've been experiencing the double whammy of not having a work project to think about and not having a writing project to really work on. And it has just been a double whammy of like, who am I without these projects? Spoiler alert, I'm having an identity crisis and I don't know what to do about it, which is why I'm here. I'd apologize for how long it's been since the last video, but I don't want to. I don't think I need to. I am under no obligation to put anything on the internet ever. So I'm not gonna feel bad about not doing that. I don't know if I'm gonna do Camp NaNoWriMo in April. I don't think I'm really in a place to do something like that. I think I just need to kind of feel this whole situation, state of being, what have you out, feel all that out, and just kind of let it happen more organically. I do think I am also a little burnt out from, you know, pulling 39,000 words out of my ass in 7 days. So I think I just need to be nice to myself, not turn my creative output into a competition with myself. I don't know how best to do that, so we're gonna figure it out. Yeah, I think that's it. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. And I'm trying really hard to be okay with that. Hope y'all are having a good time. I hope you're having a better relationship with writing and being creative than I am right now. And if you're not, just know it's not just you. I'm also there. And we're gonna find a way out together.